Most of us want friends. While a few prefer solitude and a hermit-like existence, most of us value friendship greatly. Some value it above almost everything else. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, 384 to 322 BC, insists a life without friends isn't worth living. Friendship, he says, is most necessary with a view to living, for without friends no one would choose to live, though he had all the other goods. Another ancient Greek, Epicurus, 341 to 270 BC, maintains that friendship is essential for happiness. Of all the things that wisdom provides to help one live one's entire life in happiness, the greatest by far is the possession of friendship. Supposing we lack friends, why is that, and what can we do about it? Once you start wondering why you don't have any friends, various thoughts may pop into your head. One obvious thought is, do I lack friends because I am unlikable? But actually, plenty of rather unlikable, indeed pretty awful people seem to have close friends. One sort of dislikable person, the gossip who enjoys finding fault in others, can even be at an advantage when it comes to making friends. It's claimed that Alice Roosevelt Longworth, President Teddy Roosevelt's daughter, had a pillow embroidered with the motto, "If you can't say something good about someone, sit right here by me." Social psychologists confirm that sharing negative attitudes towards others helps bring people closer together. Certainly, the tightest teenage friendship groups are often some of the most gossipy. Those on the inside may feel more tightly bound together if they are unpleasant towards and ostracize those outside. In short, it seems that being obnoxious is no obstacle to having friends. Probably the most obvious explanation offered for why people don't have any friends is that they're not putting themselves out there. If we are not placing ourselves into situations where friends can be made, then a lack of friends is more or less guaranteed. Still, even if we have a healthy social network and full social calendar, we might still feel that we lack true friends. Real friendship, we may feel, involves more than just having people we see on a regular basis, at clubs, parties, and other gatherings. If that's our concern, if we find ourselves feeling lonely even in a room filled with other people, then perhaps we need to think about what real friendship involves. Aristotle points to 3 different kinds of friendship, 2 of which are common and 1 much more profound. Some friendships, thought Aristotle, are based on their usefulness to us. They provide tangible economic, political, or other advantages to us. For example, we may strike up friendships with people at work who can help us with our careers. Friendships based on their usefulness aren't necessarily exploitative. The advantages gained can be reciprocal. I'll scratch your back and you scratch mine. A second sort of friendship, thought Aristotle, is focused on pleasure. I may make friends with people who I find amusing, for example, or with whom I can play sport, or go drinking, or to concerts, which I enjoy. Aristotle suggests these first 2 forms of friendship are likely to be comparatively short-lived. Friendships based on pleasure are dependent on what we find pleasurable, and that may well change, particularly when we're young. If I become less interested in sport and more in playing cards, my circle of friends will probably shift accordingly. Aristotle contrasts these first 2 forms of friendship with a third, deeper form of friendship. In friendships of this more profound sort, we don't love the other person because they help us obtain something we want. Rather, we love them because of the sort of person they are. We love them because we, being of good character, recognize their good character. And because good character endures, thinks Aristotle, so do such friendships. Now those who wish well to their friends for their sake are most truly friends, for they do this by reason of their own nature and not incidentally. Therefore their friendship lasts as long as they are good, and goodness is an enduring thing. Of course, Aristotle is not suggesting such friendships can't be enjoyable or useful. They can. Though they may not aim at pleasure, they are pleasurable. They can be useful too. He suggests that a friend of this third sort holds up a mirror to you, providing an honest, warts and all reflection, thereby helping you become a better person. If this last kind of friendship is what you are really after, then you need to be or become a good person, and to seek out other good people. Going out of your way to help others, perhaps by working as a volunteer, would be a good place to start. The advice may be cliched, but it's also pretty sound. If you want to make friends, you really do need to put yourself out there.